have a math lesson today. I'm going to teach you about equivalent fractions.
Okay.
Equivalent fractions. I'm going to need you to take out your journal, your math journal. Okay. And we're going to start off by writing our vocabulary words. We have 3 vocabulary words today. Okay. At the top of your paper, I want you to write equivalent. The word equivalent. Number 1. E-Q-U-I-V-A-L-E-N-T. Equivalent. Do you have an idea what equivalent means? Equivalent. Do you hear a word in there? You kind
Equal amounts.
Equal amounts. So equal, E-Q-U-A-L, equal amounts. A-M-O-N-T. Okay? Now, our second word is denominator. D-E-N-O-M-I-A-T-O-R. What do you suppose that means?
In a fraction, I think it means the bottom number.
The bottom number in a fraction. Very good. The bottom number in a fraction. Okay. Our third vocabulary word is numerator. N-U, write these down. M-E-R-A-T-O-R. So if our denominator is the bottom number, what is our top number? The numerator. Right?
Yeah.
So the numerator is the top number in a fraction. Okay, those are our 3 vocabulary words. So make sure you know them. If you forget, if you're working on a problem, where can you go to find the answer?
In my journal.
In your journal, yes. So we're going to work with equivalent fractions today. So the first thing we're going to do to kind of prepare and get our brains ready and thinking about what we're going to do today is we're going to do a little skip counting.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to skip count by 3s. Are you ready? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18,
20.
21, 18,
21.
19, 20, 21. What comes next after 21?
24.
24. And then
28.
24, 25, 26, 27. Okay? Let's count by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. Good. And then we can have 32, right? If we kept going. Okay. So kind of get our math brain warmed up. Kind of like in gym, you do some exercises to get your muscles warmed up before you get into work. We got to get our brains warmed up for math. Okay. So equivalent fractions. And I know from your reading, and I know from feedback before that you gave me from lessons, you understand better if I talk a little slower. Okay? So if I'm talking too fast, you can just say, Mrs. Williams, can you slow down a little bit?
Okay.
Okay? Because it's important that you understand. Okay? So I'm going to draw 2 rectangles here. And you can draw them in your journal too. There is our 2 rectangles. Okay? Now I'm going to divide, let's put a line right through the middle of each one. Okay? Did we divide each one of them in half? You think?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So shade in the top half of each of them. What kind of fraction would I call this? What would our numerator be, our top number?
1/2.
1/2, good. So our numerator is 1, and we have 2 pieces, so our bottom number is 2. Right? Now, do you agree that this is equivalent to this? Equivalent means equal. Do you agree that this is equivalent to this?
Yeah.
Okay. What if now I drew a line down there? How many pieces do I have now?
4.
4 pieces now. What number is the 4? Is the 4 our denominator or our numerator?
Denominator.
Yeah, the 4 is the denominator. What would our numerator be?
2.
2. So now we have 2 out of 4. These 2 numbers look different though, don't they? Do these 2 numbers look different?
Yes.
But are they the same?
Yes.
They represent the same amount, don't they? This is a different way of saying it. Okay? So we could say that 1/2 equals 2 fourths. Right? Okay. Let's have another visual. I'm going to give you a piece of paper here. And I'm going to have one, and I want you to take this piece of paper and fold it in half. Open it up. And where you colored it in half there, why don't you put a little line down the middle right where the fold is and color 1/2 of it. Color 1/2 of it. Okay, so it should look like this. Okay, so if we wrote this in a fraction, it would be 1 on the top in 2 pieces, 2 on the bottom. 1 out of 2 would be 1/2 because we shaded 1/2. They're equal, aren't they? 1/2. Now I want to show you something. I want you to fold it in half again and then fold it one more time in half. Okay? And go ahead and make the lines where you see the folds after you open it up. So it should look like this. Make the lines where you made the fold. It'll just make them a little bit easier to see. Now, what kind of fraction do we have now?
2 fourths.
2 fourths. Can you explain to me why this is 2 fourths?
Because there's 1, 2 shaded in, and there's 1, 2 unshaded, and that equals 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good job. Okay. Now let's get even trickier. You ready for this? Got your math brain on high? Okay. Fold it up again the way we had it. Now fold it one more time. Okay. Then open it back up. And make the lines where the creases are again. So we have some more lines to make, don't we? Oh, Now, what kind of fraction is this? Could you make?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So what's this the fraction?
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 eighths.
4 eighths. But isn't this the same I started with?
Yeah. Because this is 1 part and this is the other part. 1 half.
So there's a lot of different names for 1/2?
Mhm.
Oh, so I could say I have 1/2, or I could say I have 2/4, or 4 eighths, and they're all the same?
Mhm.
Wow. Let's see what that looks like here. 1/4, or 1/2, and then we did 2/4, and then we did 4 eighths, and they're all the same. So what could we call these? What could we call them?
Equivalent.
Equivalent
Equivalent.
fractions.
Fraction.
Good job. Okay. Now, I'm going to teach you something really mind-blowing, okay? And let me have my spray to clean my board off. Okay, and remember, if I'm going too fast for you, you just say, Mrs. Williams, can you slow down a little bit? Okay? So now, here's what we're going to practice doing. We're going to practice if we have, let's try, let's see, which one do we want to start with? Okay, let's have 3 eighths. 3/8 equals 3/8 equals 16 on the bottom. Oh my. How in the world are we going to figure out what number goes here? You have any ideas? How are we going to figure out what number goes there?
I think we a line between
Okay.
going up. The first one is times and bottom one is division.
Okay, so we're either going to times or divide, right? Whatever we do to this number to get this number,
We have to do the same thing to the top.
we have to do the same thing from the top. You remember in your lesson from yesterday very well. So, we have to do the same thing, right? We always have to do the same. Let's write in your notes, do the same thing to top and bottom. Now, how do we know what we're going to do? We're missing information here. So let's work with our denominators. Let's start where we have our information. Okay. So we have our denominators, don't we? We have 8 and 6. So we're going to think about the relationship between 8 and 6. And we got to decide what we're going to do. We're either going to times or multiply. And here is the way to remember that. If our number here, look at the board, please. If our number here, 8, are we going up or down to get 16? We have 8, and we want to get to 16. Do we go up or down the number line?
Up.
Up. If we go up, here's the 2 rules. If we go up, we're going to multiply.
When we have to multiply for this one.
Yes, so we have to multiply for this one. If we had, just for the sake of learning this part, if this number was a 4, if we had an 8 here and a 4 here, we would be going up or down.
We would have to be going down,
We would
which
be
is division.
Yes, so we would go down, which means we would divide. But in this case, we have 8. We go up to get to 16. So we're going to divide. So we have 8 times blank equals 16. We just have to fill in that blank. What could it be? 8 times blank is 16.
2.
2? 2 8s? Okay. Okay, so 8 times 2 is 16. Now, remember we said whatever we do, we have to do the same thing to the top and bottom. So if on the bottom we times 2, what do we have to do on the top? We times 2 on the bottom. We have to do the same thing on the top.
So we have to times 2.
We have to times 2, right? We just move this up here and do the same thing. 3 times 2 equals what? 3 times 2. Remember we skip counted 3's at the beginning of the lesson? 3. Skip count by 3's. 3. Skip count by 3's. 3. 6. So 3 times 2 is 6. Look what you just did. You made equivalent fractions.
Yay.
So 8 or 3 8s equal 6 16s. Pretty exciting?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big stuff there, huh? Okay. Let's try one more. Let's see. Let's try. All right. Let's do 1/4. 1/4 equals. I'm going to give you the 12 on the bottom here. We're going to figure out what number goes there. Can you tell me the first step? Where do we have our information? Denominators. We have the denominators.
So we have to do the denominators first?
Yeah, we got to figure out the relationship between these two numbers. And if we know how these two numbers are related,
And
we
know
can-
how to solve that one.
yes. So, do we go up or down? We have 4. Are we going up or down to get 12? 4. Are we going to go up the number line or down the number line?
Up
to
the
get
number
12?
line.
We go up the number line. So what does that tell us we're going to do?
We're gonna
Times or multiply. So 4 times blank equals 12. 4 times blank equals 12. Oh, remember we skip counted by 4's? Let's do it again and see how many it takes to get to 12. 4,
8,
8,
10,
8 plus 4 more, 8.
12.
So how many?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 4, 8, 12. So 3. 4 times 3 equals 12. What do we need to do to our 1 up here?
We need to times it with
You've got it. You can
3?
do it. Yes. Times 3 here. We're going to do the same thing up here. 1 times 3 equals, what's 1 times 3? Any number times 1 is the same number.
3.
3. Now look. What's our equivalent fractions there?
1/4 is equal to 3/12.
It's your brain. You did it. Fabulous. Yes. You have a question?
No.
No? Okay, very good. You've done a great job. I'm very pleased with your work and how well you're learning, how hard you're trying. This is what I want you to do. There's a couple of questions that I want you to do on your own. I wrote them in your folder.
Okay.
There's only 3 of them. And when you're done with them, I want you to write one thing you learned in math today. And 2, I want you to write if there's any questions or anything we need to talk about tomorrow before we start the lesson.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Thank you.